Welcome, surveyors, and congratulations on being a part of a grand and historic occasion.
Bienvenue, arpenteurs-géomètres, et félicitations d'être partie prenante de ce grand événement historique.
Our presence together today and throughout our conference marks the first time since Canadian Confederation, 150 years ago, that land surveyors of Ontario and Quebec, along with Canada land surveyors from across the country, have come together to celebrate the history and accomplishments of our profession.
Notre présence ensemble aujourd'hui et tout au long de cette conférence marque la première fois depuis la Confédération canadienne, il y a 150 ans, et la première fois depuis la création de nos associations que les arpenteurs de l'Ontario, du Québec et les arpenteurs des terres du Canada se réunissent pour célébrer l'histoire et les réalisations de notre profession.
Ours is a history that moves from the primeval force of the 1700s to the megacities and technological miracles of today, a tale of turbulence and vision, of railways, roads, and power dams, of farms and cities, of every form of communication and travel that connects Canadians to one another and to the world.
Above all, it is a story of people, ambitious survivalists, technicolor dreamers, artful innovators, of adventurers, activists, and feminists. A story of whose pages the wilderness traditions of the past meet the impassioned young surveyors of the 21st century.
For 200 years, Canadian surveyors have helped shape the foundations of every significant social and economic development in the country.
Faire une balade sur le boulevard Saint-Laurent à Montréal ou le long d'un sentier dans le parc de la Gatineau, conduire sur la rive nord du lac Supérieur, monter la tour du CN et prendre place dans le Centennial Concert Hall à Winnipeg, prendre le train à Edmonton, faire un tour de funiculaire au Château Frontenac ou à l'aéroport de Thunder Bay, frapper une rondelle dans le centre Meridian à St. Catharines.
If you have done any of these things, you know what is possible. At some point in the past, a surveyor has made a precise assessment of his or her surroundings and has determined that this is where the highway might best run, where the power dam or hydro towers should be constructed, or where the piers must be located to properly support the bridge, or that this is how to transform raw land into an active community.
Beyond GPS and LiDAR, surveyors embody growing social and ethical responsibilities. Daily, we participate in crucial environmental decisions that will affect the health and future of the planet, decisions that influence the living standards and safety of Canadians. The Surveyor General of Ontario noted recently that without the contribution of surveyors, our social institutions, even our banking system, would be compromised. Together, the surveyor and the lawyer create certainty and security for land ownership, enabling stable communities, as well as a social and economic investment.
For Canadian surveyors, much has changed in 150 years.
And much has not changed.
D'hier à aujourd'hui, les arpenteurs-géomètres nourrissent une passion et une curiosité pour notre planète. Nous sommes des gens de lieux, de rives et de forêts, de gratte-ciels, d'autoroutes et de ponts.
Likewise, we are students of the mathematics of place, the curvature of the Earth, the shifting poles, the azimuth of the star, our physical world's geographic information.
On pourrait dire que l'ère de l'arpentage moderne a commencé après la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, lorsque les nouveaux arrivants se sont établis dans les villes canadiennes. Là, comme le reste des habitants fatigués de la guerre, ils avaient besoin d'un monde nouveau, en pleine expansion, où vivre, travailler, étudier, voyager et consommer.
From the Maritimes to Manitoba to British Columbia, an energetic new body of surveyors made maps, plotted highways and mining claims, planned subways, skyscrapers, airports, pipelines, suburbs, platted vast hydro and nuclear projects, and the St. Lawrence Seaway.
Dans l'ensemble, ces développements sont venus incarner à la fois le sens et le caractère indispensable de travaux d'arpentage de qualité.
During the 1960s and 70s, education and standards improved rapidly.
Technology advanced as never before.
Des programmes de pointe en sciences géomatiques ont vu le jour à l'Université du Nouveau-Brunswick, à l'Université Laval, l'Université Ryerson, l'Université de Toronto et de Calgary.
In the words of Gordon Gracie, who directed the Survey Science program at Arundel College, there was a feeling that these were privileged years, a grand opportunity. We had a genuine sense that we were building the profession, raising its arc. It was no longer going to be any sort of old boys club or Mira vacation.
À l'insu de la plupart des arpenteurs-géomètres, à la fin des années 60 et au début des années 70, le changement d'un autre type a pris forme tranquillement sur la partie sud-ouest de l'Ontario.
At the time, 100% of the surveyors in Canada were men. However, in April 1969, the percentage fell to 99.99 when an assertive and intelligent young woman from Leamington, Ontario, Lorraine Southerington, became the first woman in Canada to gain a surveyor's accreditation.
The larger story of women in surveying in Ontario is still being told. In 2009, Susan McGregor became the first female Surveyor General of Ontario, and in 2014, Dasha Page became the first female president of the AOLS.
En 2000, Chantal Arguin fut la première présidente de l'Ordre des arpenteurs-géomètres du Québec. En 2007, Marie Robidoux est devenue la première femme présidente de l'Association des arpenteurs des terres du Canada. Et Tanya Bigstone est actuellement la première présidente autochtone des arpenteurs des terres du Canada.
For Canadian surveyors, the latter years of the 20th century were an era of adventure and in some cases idealism. Many traveled not just to the corners of the country, but to the farthest reaches of the planet to work on projects that rivaled the great infrastructure projects that were being developed in Canada.
The 21st century brought a new order of change with GPS units, satellites, robots, self-seeking UAVs, self-actuating total stations, mobile LiDAR devices, underwater mapping units, all of which are functionally inseparable from the advanced computerization on which the industry is now dependent.
As land surveyors, we are a forward-looking profession, increasingly mindful of our obligations to the natural environment, of the shadows as well as the glories of the past. Part of our progress today is our awareness of the more contentious aspects of Canada's history and the role our surveying forebears played in that history, an awareness to our obligations to our Indigenous communities.
En tant que professionnels, nous sommes dans une position idéale pour aider les Canadiens à envisager, voire reconsidérer les racines de leur pays pour aider à guérir les vieilles blessures.
By shining a light on the past, we shine an even brighter light into the future.
Today, as we recall and honor our past, let us celebrate heartedly the young men and women who will lead surveying into the decades ahead, perhaps into the next dimension.
Ils sont un groupe qui, comme leurs ancêtres, vivront leur propre histoire fascinante, inventeront leurs traditions et idéaux. Ils le feront avec du LiDAR, des GPS, des véhicules aériens sans pilote, avec des montagnes de données et des images inspirées du laser si détaillées et séduisantes qu'elles reconstituent les objets réalistement.
It is no secret that some of the brightest and most enthusiastic of our young surveyors are talented young men and women whose first language is not necessarily English or French, and whose birthplace is not necessarily Canada.
A veteran Ottawa surveyor said recently that more than anything right now, the profession needs the genius and ideas of newcomers to the country. Let me broaden that, he added. We need imaginative young surveyors, period, no matter what their background.
Compte tenu de la rapidité avec laquelle l'avenir s'élance vers nous, ce que nous appelons les arpenteurs-géomètres de demain sont bien sûr inséparables des jeunes arpenteurs engagés d'aujourd'hui.
They are a group that, if the futurologists are correct, will work beneath oceans and quite possibly in outer space, will work from vehicles and conveyances that technology suggests will drive and fly themselves, and perhaps even without the roads, rails, and airports that the surveyors of the 20th century spent their lives developing and maintaining.
Peut-être le plus important, nos jeunes arpenteurs-géomètres, comme les meilleurs de leur clan à n'importe quelle époque, travailleront avec leur imagination et leur ingéniosité. Avant de prendre leur retraite de leur carrière, dont certaines parties semblent vouées à s'exercer dans des conditions climatiques difficiles, à de rares latitudes, peut-être même avec des grands délais ou en mode urgence, ils verront les changements non seulement dans la technologie et l'orientation de la profession, mais dans la planète même, Des changements qui, en tant qu'arpenteurs-géomètres, ils devront mesurer, surveiller et présenter au monde.
Villiers Sankey, one of the originators of the AOLS, said 125 years ago at the association's founding, "We as surveyors are connected in our interests and standards and our sense of mutual support. And in that, we are kind of a family. We have worked hard and will continue to work hard. We have been responsible to ourselves and thereby to our province and our country." And with that, he called for a toast. Today, we call for another toast, to our profession, to one another, to our country on its 150th birthday, and to Canada Surveyors, the cornerstone of a country.
Ainsi, nous portons un toast symbolique à notre profession, à chacun de nous et au pays de ce 150e anniversaire, et pour les arpenteurs-géomètres canadiens, la pierre angulaire d'un pays.
Welcome, Canada Land Surveyors, and congratulations on being part of this grand and historic occasion.
Bienvenue, arpenteurs-géomètres du Québec, et félicitations pour avoir participé à ce grand événement historique.
Welcome, Ontario Land Surveyors, and congratulations on being a part of this grand and historic occasion.